Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. I've been asked to come here by Rain. He's a Malaysian guy that's you're 13 years old, and he wants to ask me some questions. I've never done an interview. I've never ever done an interview in all of the time that I've been doing videos, but this time I'm going to do a video. So bear with us. We might make some mistakes because it's first for me, and I think it's first for Rain. What are your questions there, buddy?
Um, how do you feel when you first moved to China? I mean, migrating and traveling is different, right?
Well, I actually came over to China initially to meet my future wife, Wei Feng, which is still my wife 18 plus years later. It was a culture shock. The food, I couldn't eat the food. I couldn't speak the language. I had no idea where I was. China was a communist country, and it was supposed to be bad because this is everything that I've been told in the past. But when I got here, I saw big buildings. I saw kind and polite people. I saw, well, the food took me a while to get used to, but overall, my first impression was totally different than what I had expected China to actually be like. It was a different world for sure, but I think to begin with, I wasn't really sure whether I liked it or not because it was so foreign to me. But after being here for a while, um, I sort of grew to love the place probably even better than I like Canada. I still do like a lot of things about Canada, but China has become my home over the last 18 years because of the people, because of the way that they grow their country. They're hardworking, they're industrious, it's something that I don't see in the West as much as I see here. So I've come accustomed to it. But to begin with, to answer the question, I was out of my element. I had no idea where I was or what I was doing or what anybody was saying.
So, do you have one big thing that you like about China more than Canada? Like one thing that you decided that maybe you really don't want to move back to Canada?
Well, there's more than one thing. The food is amazing. The cost of living is very good. As I was saying, the just the diversity of the country. When you go from coast to coast in Canada, it's basically the same. They've got the WalMarts, and they've got the Staples, and they've got the superstores where you buy your groceries and stuff. Here it's different. Here you can go to a mega city like Beijing or Chongqing. You can go to a countryside village in Bobai or Sanjiang where they have different cultures, different clothes that they wear, different foods, the topography, the from the Kars Mountains of Guangxi Autonomous Region to the high mountains in Gansu and Tibet to the deserts in Xinjiang. It's such a diverse country, and traveling around here, I think, is more interesting than where I came from in North America. The food is once you get used to the food is amazing. It's like there's so much of it. So it's and this place it has no violence. I don't see a lot of violence. I see people if they don't like what the other person is doing, they'll yell at them, they'll point their finger, but nobody is violent here, which is sort of a nice thing to see after being in North America, where we have we do have a lot of crime, violent crime. We do have drug abuse and stuff like that. So those things that I see in China that are better, uh, it's it's a give and take too. Um, China's just China's a more innocent country with more to see.
I see. Okay. Well, I remember you mentioning that maybe in the future you might want to go back to Canada because you like fishing? Is there anything
Oh
you
yeah.
like about Canada more than China?
Yes, Canada has its good points. Barbecuing a big rib steak. They
Oh
have no
yeah.
rib steaks here. Baked potatoes and Christmas ham and turkey and things that the comfort foods that we're used to in the West. Fresh air, no pollution, pristine water, fishing, not only in the summertime but in the wintertime. We actually, Canadians dig holes in the ice and we catch fish through the holes in the ice. So there's all of these different things that I grew up with, and sometimes I miss it. I get homesick every once in a while. And it's yeah, so Canada has its good stuff too. Wei Fong and I talk about going back to Canada all the time, and sooner or later, I think everybody that's a foreigner in China goes back home sooner or later. And we do have an exit strategy. We are thinking about buying an acreage in central British Columbia and going and living out our old age there, but we're not to that point yet. So China, for the next number of years, is still going to be our home. So Canada has those good points, but it hasn't drawn us back yet.
Actually, personally, I haven't been to China yet. So, is there anything that you would like to recommend if I were to go to China for the first time?
But your last name is Wong. Are you not Chinese?
I am Chinese, but I've never
You're
been to China.
Malaysian-born Chinese.
Yeah. So we have
So
Chinese food here, so don't need to worry about getting used to eating the food. But is there anything more special there?
yeah. Oh, what was the question? See, I'm an old guy. I forget very easy.
The question, oh, what would you recommend me if I were to go to China for the first time? Is there anything special to do there?
Oh, there's so many special things to do in China. Uh, if it was the first time, I would hit all of the tourist attractions. I'd go on the Forbidden City. I'd go to Shanghai. I'd go to the Great Wall. I would go to Guilin. I would go to the South China Sea, uh, Beihai, Hainan Island, places like that. But after you've done all of those things, so your second or third trip to China, then it's time to
Do
see
some
rural
local
areas,
stuff, yeah.
local food, local cuisine. Places like Sanjiang up in the northern part of Guangxi Autonomous Region is an amazing place. Or Mingxi countryside, where you think Guilin is beautiful with the Karst Mountains, but Mingxi countryside in Guangxi is more beautiful. It's places like that. You go to Gansu province, where it's the same as Tibet, only it's not Tibet. It's easier access. You don't have to have the visas and the permits to go in there. To Xinjiang, like I've been lucky. I've been able to travel basically the entire country over the last 3 4 years, from the East China Sea to the South China Sea to Beijing to Xinjiang and Kashgar to the marketplaces and stuff. So those are the places that after you've hit the real touristy places that scream China, this is China, then you can go to the other places and say, well, now that was China, but this is real China now.
You said you have traveled around China the past few years. Then are you consistently moving?
Basically, yes. I travel a lot. I've been I'm probably traveling about 50% of the time. So out of a year, I'll spend 180 days traveling, which is a lot.
Sounds
Which is a lot of time traveling.
sounds kind of fun, actually.
Oh, it is. It's amazing. Yeah. I but after a while you need time to sort of regenerate. So when we get home to Nanning, because Nanning is our home here in China, it's nice to just relax and take it easy, and then you have no stress, no worries, nothing to do. because when you're traveling, there's always something to do. Because we do a lot of traveling with CGTN and China Daily and China Radio International. We did a trip to Gansu to Tiao. Different media outlets will invite us on different trips around to promote those areas of China for tourism. And the more we promote, the more people will go there, the more money that the locals will make, and it's better for their economies. So yeah, it's nice to travel. It's exciting. It's You're seeing new things all the time, but it's also nice to get home and just relax.
So let's say if you have some subscribers watching this interview, would you have anything you would like to say that you don't normally say?
Well, I'm pretty open on my channel. I tell people exactly what I think, and because my channel is all about my life as I go through it, um, from leaving Canada to coming to China to our daily lives with our medical, the good things and the bad things that happen with us medically, to where we go and how we do things and what we think politically and our opinions and such. So, you know, basically, the only thing I'd like to tell my subscribers is like, comment, subscribe to Rain's channel because he's the next generation of YouTubers.
Thanks.
I'm old. I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be gone in a couple of years.
Not
And
that
people like
fast.
you, well, I'm 61 years old.
No?
Why? So in another couple of years, I'll probably say, no, I don't want to do this anymore, and I'll move on to something else. Like I don't know, watch TV. But the new tubers that are coming out. You look at Ollie Barrett, you look at Alex from Reporterfy Media, who's helping us make this interview. The Mexicanos in China. You look at Blondie and Nico. All of these younger people are coming up and doing the YouTube stuff. So watch them more than me, like because they have a future in it where I'm just doing this as a hobby. I picked up a camera 4 years or so ago because my dad thought China was a communist country and it was a bad place. And why would you go to a bad place like that? So I tried to explain it to him, and he wouldn't listen to me. He just, nah, it's not like. So I picked up a camera and I started videotaping and showing him what China was really like. I've changed his mind a little bit, but I don't think I've changed it 100%. But in the meantime, as I was doing that, I brought just about 90,000 people along on the ride. So it ballooned into something bigger than just maybe a hobby. We influence people. We tell people exactly what we think in our lives, how it goes, and what China's really like. So uh, back to the original question, what would I tell my subscribers is that China's not a bad place. Don't listen to people or mainstream medias or politicians in the West telling you that China's a bad place. Uh, don't say China's a good place either. Come and experience it yourself and make up your own mind.
So, what do you think about the commotion going between America and China? Do you think there's any conflict, or do you think that it's anything that you would like to say?
Well, I have my opinions on that, and I think that the American government is really scared that they're not going to be number one in another 5 years,
I agree with that. I agree with that.
because they've been number one for so long. Um, they're jealous of the growth that's happening in China right now. They don't know how to deal with it because they can see that China is going to overtake them, and they're they're scared. Anything new is scary to not only people but to countries. So as China grows and gets stronger, the Western world, not just the Americans, but the British and the Canadians, Australians, they're all sort of in the same boat. Even India is in the same boat, looking at China, saying it's like they're looking over the fence at their neighbor because the neighbor got a new car. Now China's the one with the new car, where all the time before that it was the Americans, the Canadians, the Australians, and the Brits that had the new car, and the Chinese were looking over the fence at them, being jealous of them. So I think the tides are changing in the world right now, and the Americans are they're they're concerned about it. They don't know where it's going to end, and I would imagine that that's where all this conflict is coming from. I don't think the conflict is coming from China. I think China just does what it does,
Yeah,
and
that's what it does. Yes.
basically ignores what the other people say.
Um. Yeah. So, do you think that in the future anything will happen between these two countries that would really like boom the world or something?
No, no, I don't think so. They're so intertwined economically that it would be economic suicide for China. It would be economic suicide for the rest of the world. As you can see right now, where shelves are basically empty in places in the United States because the goods aren't coming out of China, and uh, there's a bottleneck where uh, manufacturing exports aren't making it over to the other part of the world, and they're all concerned about this, and inflation's going up because things are getting more expensive because there's not as many goods as there are customers for the goods. What would happen if they cut China off and they had none of these goods? They'd have they
I mean, nowadays everything,
can't
even if you
you can't
bought
do it.
some toys in Malaysia, it's all made in China. To be honest, all
Oh,
of them.
basically, but that is changing too because there's a lot of stuff being made in Vietnam and Brazil and the Philippines, and because China's getting more expensive, China's wages are going up, property values are going up, so it's basically turning into a middle class society, and the Cambodias and the Vietnams and the Philippines and places like that around the world are starting to take a lot of those lower end manufacturing jobs. So it's China's moving up that level, and it's benefiting other countries too around China because if China ever died, if China ever became insolvent like Venezuela, then the rest of the world would be hurting for decades. It's the economies of the whole world would be just devastated. So no, there's not going to be any big war between the United States and China. That's just not going to happen.
Just a question. Do you have what's the best comment you have ever received from any social media you're on?
Let me think. I had a request for an interview from a young guy from Malaysia. Actually, I've had a number of comments from people from around the world, and I get literally hundreds of thousands of comments a month. It's one of the things that people like to comment on my channel, and I get comments where people actually say, "I used to hate China, but your channel has changed my mind." So if we can influence people to look at China in a better light because of what we show them on the street around the food that we eat, just the fun that we have traveling around China, and they can see the regular people, maybe we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And I think comments like that are the ones that I appreciate the best.
Maybe next time I should start calling you Gweilo 60 the influencer.
The influencer. Yeah, wow. I have influenced some people, and I think anybody that has a YouTube channel has influence over a large section of the population, or potentially has that influence over a large section of the population. So be very careful what you say. Be very careful in how you approach things, and try to be fair to everybody. If you're not fair to everybody, you will gain enemies, definitely. Even if you do the right thing all the time, people will attack you and try to belittle you. But you have to take that into consideration where it's coming from too. So, uh, yeah, influence is a double-edged sword.
Where do you get your content ideas? Maybe you just walk around the garden and just bomb with an idea or something?
Well, some of it comes when I'm waking up in the morning. Some of it comes from the news. Some of it comes from what I experience in my daily life. But I'd say about half of the videos that I do come from comments on my channel, where people,
I see.
they'll make a comment that'll spark something in my brain, and I say, oh geez, that might make a good video. And that's where it comes from. So it comes from all different directions. I'm probably going to make a video about us doing this interview.
So I heard that China has is facing an electrical problem all around the country. Is it as bad as they claim?
I've heard about that on the news, where we're running out of Mayo Dien. We don't have enough electricity. We Manufacturing is being slowed down because of the lack of electricity. I haven't seen any of that in Guangxi. Maybe up in the places where uh, in Guangzhou, where it's a big manufacturing, up north where they do more steel production and whatever, they might have a shortage of electricity. But here, you see, we used to have rolling blackouts over the years in Nanning, where a certain section of the city would be shut down, and sometimes it was in the summertime when it's 40 below or 40 above outside. But over the last 3 4 years, we haven't had any of that. So I thought it was getting better, and then you hear on the news that, oh no, we're running out of electricity. I think that maybe somebody, a mainstream media outlet out there, has said, oh, China's running out of electricity. I think there's a shortage, and I think there's always a shortage in a country of 1.4 billion people. But I think it's being blown out of proportion a little bit. I don't think it's as bad as what people are saying, because my lights are on.
Your lights are on, and that's the most important thing of that.
Well, that's just it. My fridge is keeping my beer cold.
Yeah.
Life is good.
How many cans of beer do you drink a day?
Why would you even ask me that question? That all depends on the day. Some days I don't drink beer. Some days I drink beer. Summertime, we drink a lot of beer just because it's warm. It's really hot outside, and it's what we do. Wintertime, not so much. But you might get me drinking like 3 4 cans of beer a day.
Is it easier to find beer around China streets or Canada?
Oh, in Canada, you got to go to a liquor store or a cold wine and beer store. Every little store in China has beer. So you just cruise up, you grab a beer, crack it. See, in Canada, you can't drink beer on the street. In China, you can. In Malaysia, can you drink beer on the street?
I'm not sure because I'm underage.
Yeah, okay. So you don't drink beer?
Of course, I don't drink beer.
Not yet.
Really depends on whether I want to do so, actually.
Exactly. It's probably it's everybody's personal decision. But yeah, uh, here China has more access to beer, but their beer is not very good.
So
One
Canada,
bad thing about China, Chinese beer is bad.
really?
Yeah, it's not very good.
Oh, okay. How much do you know about China's stocks? Do you know about China's stocks?
I've never played the stock market in China, but I do know people that have. I've known people that have made a lot of money, and I've known people that have lost a lot of money. Any stock market is a gamble. It's like going to a casino. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. Um, it's like anything else. Getting into a business. If you're investing money, know exactly what you're investing in. Study up on the companies. Make sure that you know what you're doing and what the company's strengths and weaknesses are, where the economy is going, stuff like that. A lot of people don't do that. They gamble in the stock market, and that's the wrong thing to do. So Chinese stock market is like anywhere else. It goes up and down. People win, people lose. It's not something that I'm very interested in. If I was a younger guy, well, when I was younger, I used to play a little bit in the stock market. But now that I'm older, I don't do that anymore.
I mean, it's kind of hard to just study every day. It's lazy to do so.
Well, I'm retired. See, when I moved to China here, the last 7 years, I retired. I've been coming to China for 18 years, but the last 7 years has been basically 100% in China. So uh, I really don't want to do anything. I just want to play. Pick up a camera, I do videos, I travel around, I drink beer, as people know. We go out for supper. We never eat breakfast at home. We always go out for breakfast. You know, from
Morning
uh,
walks. That's nice.
well, soup on the street to dim sum to bauza to whatever. It doesn't matter. But it gets us up and out of the house first thing in the morning, and I think that's a healthy thing for anybody, especially older
Definitely.
people. Get up and get out and do things. If you just sit around, not healthy. So see, I forgot the
Definitely can
question,
get a
so I
lot
just
of.
stopped. What's that?
You could definitely get a lot of vitamin D walking in the morning, so you could
Oh
easily
yeah.
avoid COVID that way. Actually, easier.
But we have no COVID here.
Yep.
I think, when the Wuhan thing hit, Guangxi Autonomous Region, a province of, well, it's an autonomous region, but it's like a province uh, of over 50 million people, had 256 COVID cases.
That's like
You know what I
less
mean?
than 1%.
Well, yeah, less than 1/100 of 1%. But the idea is that we don't have COVID. Sure, some places we have to put on masks. Everybody's had their vaccination. Um, you have a QR code that shows where you've been over the last 14 days, whether you've had a green code, which means that you haven't been around anybody that has COVID. And it shows a gold thing around it that says that you've had all your vaccinations. Other than that, we don't really. It hasn't changed our lives at all here. Where I know I talked to my daughter in Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada, and the kids have been out of school. You can't go to restaurants. There's 2,000 people a day getting sick from COVID in a province of just over 3 million people. People are dying from it. And we don't have that here. So coming back to China was probably the best decision because Wei Fong and I were in Thailand at Alex's place, and we had a ticket to Canada and a ticket to China. And we said, what are we going to do? And we decided to come back to China because we figured it was safer, and we were right.
Yeah, okay. So you have been in China since you were 43 years old?
42, I think. Yeah.
Then that should be about
Two,
19 years.
2003.
Uh, that is 18 years?
Yeah, just over 18 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old's your daughter?
Which one? I have three.
Oh, okay.
The oldest one is, I think, oh, I better not get this wrong. She'll kill me. I think she's 39. I think 39, 37, and 29, if I'm not mistaken.
You said that you were going to visit Giga Shanghai in China, right?
Yeah, we were on a trip up to Shanghai with CGTN here in about the middle of September, and actually the Tesla Gigafactory was on our list of things to do. We were going to get driverless cars to drive us around in the whole nine yards, but something screwed up, and it was canceled. And I think what happened is that the Tesla factory turned us down.
That's mean.
I know. I was gonna call Elon Musk myself because like I got him on speed dial, but they said no, no, that's okay. I'm kidding, you know that, right?
Did you get to see the outside?
No, we never even went there.
Oh,
We ended up on Zhoushan Island in the typhoon uh, Shantu, Typhoon Shantu was going through. So we got stuck on Zhoushan Island for 3 days. And then we went to Shanghai. We did a Chinese sturgeon sanctuary where they're just about extinct. So they're on the critically endangered species list. And then we did the Shanghai Tower instead.
never heard of it actually.
Shanghai Tower, it's the second largest, tallest building in the entire world, 632 meters tall. It's like huge.
Yeah,
That's
never heard
okay.
of it.
I hadn't heard about it before I went on the trip either. And people were saying, "You haven't heard of the Shanghai Tower?" I said, "No." So like, it's one of those things where I guess if you're in Shanghai, you know it. If you're not, you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, do you know anything about Tesla that you think?
I know that their stocks went up 12% last year. It's not a bad return on investment.
Yeah, I think
You
their
know,
stocks are actually one of the best right now.
yeah, they September, what did they sell? Over 56,000 cars. You know, so that's the, Tesla's a good company. It's moving in the right direction. It's it's dealing with eco-friendly. It's very expensive, but I think it's going to run into a lot of competition from Chinese companies because there's a lot of Chinese companies out there that are putting out electric vehicles and they're getting
Definitely.
better and
Yeah.
better. And the distance that they can travel on one charge is getting longer and longer. And so um, I think if they don't make it more cost friendly, I think they're going to run into trouble in the future.
Actually, I think they said that they are going to release a car that's about $25,000 by 2023. And I think
Yeah,
they already have a prototype in Giga Shanghai. So
yeah.
maybe that was the reason they turned you down. They didn't want you to see the prototype or something.
Oh,
Maybe.
Tesla doesn't even know who I am. I'm
Maybe they
sure of
do.
it. Maybe somebody that works here knows me, but
Oh,
I don't
or
think that the
maybe
company
Elon
knows who I
Musk
am.
was inspired by you to come to China.
But you never know. Like, I don't think Elon can drink that much beer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, he's very intelligent guy. Makes a lot of really groundbreaking companies as far as going into space, making batteries that last as long as they do, making these cars. Just going outside thinking outside the box. He's going in the right direction. Though he'll make mistakes, but he's got enough money that he can afford to make these mistakes. He's moving
Yeah.
from California to Texas, which is a good idea. Where play California's, taxes
I heard that he was
through the
also
roof.
moving his house there, so he went there too.
Yeah,
Just
well, I would imagine. Well, why would you set up a factory in a state that's going to charge you twice as much in taxes? It
yeah.
just doesn't make any sense, especially when your company's that big. They're not going to give you tax breaks, where Texas will. So yeah, move to Texas. I'm sure that the Chinese government is being very lenient tax wise with Tesla, or they wouldn't have the factory that they do here.
Do you see Tesla all around the road in China?
Yeah, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Uh, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. It's like the little Wuling EVs, the macaroon and stuff. They're everywhere too. Uh, Electric vehicles in China are something that people have accepted. Where in the West,
Yeah,
they
definitely.
they're not ready to accept them yet.
I feel
But
like
here, they're everywhere.
I feel like China has more of a systematic way to make people get into these electric cars, so they would quick faster get into a green energy car country.
Well, people in China are more uh, apt to accept different things. Like paying with your WeChat app. Electric vehicles, electric bikes. Just anything. All this new technology and stuff. They grab a hold of it faster than they do in the West. The West is sort of like, oh, that's not the way it was, and I'm that way too. If somebody said to me, if I was living in Canada and somebody said to me, buy this electric car over this gas car, I'd buy the gas car. Why? Because I can fill up the gas car and drive for 1,000 kilometers, and then put more gas in it and drive another 1,000 kilometers. I don't have to plug it in. Uh, it's something that I'm
Well, it's
familiar with.
gas car is still definitely better than an electric car right now. It puts in the petrol faster and the gas, and it definitely can go longer range than what an electric car can do. But I
But
do
an electric
believe,
car doesn't have to warm up in the wintertime.
but I do
You
believe
know,
that electric car would be the future because that's what the entire world is trying to move
well,
towards.
I think so too. You're looking at batteries that last longer. You're looking at better technology. Like I know the new Wulin vehicles. Uh, you run your radio and your air conditioner and everything off your cell phone. You know what I mean? It's like it's one of those the bug. It's one of those things where everything's turning into computerized, electronic, and I got a little fly here that's bugging
I
me.
actually saw that. I actually saw the
Yeah,
fly.
damn you, fly, go away. Yeah, that's what my cat's supposed to do is kill the bugs in the house, but she's
Uh,
sleeping right now. I missed them. Anyway, yeah. So it's new technology, and as an older person, I don't know whether I'm going to embrace it or not. It's one of the things that's for the next generation to worry about.
yeah, after talking to you, I feel like what you post on YouTube is basically your regular life, like completely regular.
Well, it
Just
is. It's basically
just
it.
what you
It
do.
is who I am. I when I go out and I do things, I just take a camera along with me and I just tell people what I'm doing, what I think, where I'm going. How our life is progressing, and people actually follow our lives. It is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if I as a youngster would like to start maybe making some income as getting into the real world. Do you have any advice for that, or some 60 years old of experience?
Do what you enjoy, because if you don't enjoy going to a job that you don't enjoy, you'll never be good at it.
That's
And
true. That's
and
true.
if you do one thing really good, that one thing will make you $1 million. Easy. Just so long as you do one thing really good, that's all it takes.
When I was watching a YouTube channel, I was thinking one thing like, you're rich, you're loaded.
No, no, no. I I I I'm comfortable. But then I had to work very, very hard for it too. I ran a couple of different businesses. I ran an immigration consulting company that helped people move to Canada for a number of years. Plus, I ran a repossession and collection agency business in northern Saskatchewan in Canada, which is a very dangerous business to do for a number of years too. So you got to get up in the morning, you got to go to work, you got to know what you're doing, you got to do it good. And then the money will come. But working for a wage for somebody else, you're never going to get rich working for somebody else.
Yeah, that's true.
They'll get rich because you're making the money.
Yeah, okay. Are you a millionaire?
Well, uh, I'm fairly, yeah, I'm fairly well to do. Yeah.
Just as I expected.
See, I can be a millionaire in China with only a million RMB. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah,
You go to some place like Vietnam. It's even easier to be a millionaire.
definitely.
You know how much a million yen in in Japan is?
Uh, no,
Like, like we went to the 100 yen store, and that's the dollar store.
the dollar store.
Yeah, so I would imagine 10,000 Canadian dollars would be a million Japanese yen.
But I think
So you
that,
could be a millionaire and not really have a lot of money.
yeah, I mean, Japan may have smaller currency, but they are an expensive country.
They're about the same as Canada. We spent some time over there, and we didn't find it that expensive. The
Malaysia,
fruit
yeah,
and
yeah,
meat.
actually expensive.
Yeah, the fruit and meat. Well, I was in Malaysia here a couple of years ago
You're
in
Whoa,
Kuala Lumpur, and where else were we in? Penang. That's where we met Freddie Tai.
Freddy Thai.
Yeah, Freddie Tai. You don't know who Freddie Tai is?
No,
I didn't either till I met him in Penang.
wait, is he a Caucasian?
No, he's I think he's Chinese,
Oh,
but living
because
in Penang.
there's
I think he
this
was
very
born.
funny story that I actually met two huge old Caucasian men in Penang or Ipoh. I forgot, but they were really tall and kind of scary, but they were really nice people.
Yeah, kind of scary. Probably Americans then.
I'm not sure actually, but they're really tall. They're like really, really tall.
Yeah, you get some pretty tall Caucasian people.
Actually, until I see you in real life, I can't tell if you're actually tall.
Well, I'm tall when I'm with Wei Feng because
Yeah,
she's
you are.
short. Yeah, but when I'm beside Max from Mexicanos in China, then I'm short because he's so tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I were to stand beside you, I would look like a minion, to be honest.
Well, how tall are you?
About 160.
Well, you're pretty tall for 13 then.
Nah, not actually.
No,
I think I'm one of the shortest boys in my class.
you're gonna have to drink more milk and eat more meat.
That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So you were telling me before they don't have grades in Malaysia.
Grapes? Oh yeah, grades.
Grades.
Um, they don't call it grades. They call it form. Like um, when we were in primary school, we call it grades in English. So we go like when we go to grade one, first grade, we are 7 years old, and we finish at sixth grade, which when we are 12 years old, and we move on to secondary school, and we would be called Form One as 13 years old.
Okay. So they do have grades up until grade 6, and then after that it's just
Yeah, I
like
mean,
middle school.
I also don't understand how grades work in America. To be honest, I'm like, grade 10 grades and 11 grades, and
And if you don't pass, you got to redo it.
oh,
The whole year.
I thought you were going to say starting from grade one.
No, 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 no. But if you don't pass grade 10, you got to go back and do it again. Well, things might have changed in the last. See, the last time I was in school was in 1977.
That's that's wow,
I know, eh?
wow.
Probably when your grandfather was in school. So what other questions do you have there?
Actually, don't have any more questions, so I would like to have some conversations
Okay.
because I don't understand how you guys are in China when you wake up in the morning and just go grab breakfast. I would like to understand how it goes because we don't do
Well,
that in Malaysia. We don't do that.
there's food places all over the streets of China. Just in Malaysia, they have that too. You go out for morning soup or dim sum,
Areas
or
definitely depends on area, and I don't live in Kuala Lumpur.
where do you live?
I live in Labuan. You probably haven't heard of it.
No, I have no
Yeah,
idea where that is.
it's an island.
You're on an island.
Yes, I'm on an island.
See, in Canada, I live on Vancouver Island now.
I live
My
in an
home is on.
island that have about a population of 70,000 people. Yeah, but it's just an
That's not
island.
very many people.
Actually, this place is one of the places that have COVID controlled the best, but they always needed to have food or water supplies coming in, so they would have some problems again and again whenever it opens.
Yeah, yeah. Well, how far away from Kuala Lumpur are you?
Um, um, Maybe a few hours on airplane.
Oh, okay. So you don't take a boat there. You fly to the island.
Yeah, you know Sabah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
you're over there.
no, I'm actually
So
right beside
the
it. I'm not
Borneo
even stick to it. I'm not stick to.
Borneo area.
Um, well, we are able to use a boat to travel to Sabah in maybe to Kota Kinabalu in
Okay.
maybe
Yeah.
3 hours or four
Okay.
on
So
a boat.
you're just south of the Philippines then.
No,
No,
it's like
that was close. I know the area ish.
so the island is stick together between in I think it's Indonesia and then Sabah is up here and Sarawak. Right,
Oh, okay. You're south of Sabah.
What?
You're south of Sabah.
We are not. We are actually not consider Sabah. We are consider the other side. I don't know why, but we are just
See,
yeah,
and when you're editing this video, you could probably put in a map and show where what we're talking about here, and
yeah.
then people will understand, eh? It's part of doing the editing. You can pull up pictures right off the internet and
Sabah
just
is
sort of
like the
stick them
head.
in.
Sabah is like the
Yeah,
head, and so people say that Sabah actually look like a head of a dog. You know, in Malaysia, and Labuan is just like a place that is right like a dot, just like a dot right beside it. They say it like it's I don't know how to explain. Like it came out of your ears. It just came out of Sabah, like the ears of it. Just a dot
the
there.
dog ear,
Yeah,
dog ear. See, and China is in the shape of a chicken.
chicken.
Everybody knows that. And Hainan Island is the feet of the chicken.
I actually don't know that.
We're both drinking out of the same cup, just about. It's close. Yeah. No, actually, when we were down in Malaysia, uh, I enjoyed it because it's such a different style of world there. You've got a heavy Muslim presence. The idea that you wake up and they're calling people to prayer and stuff like that. You don't see that in too many places around the world, but in Malaysia you actually do, and it's it's different, and
The
that's why people travel to see different things.
Actually, if you have time next time, maybe you can come to Labuan and visit because the people here is actually a lot nicer and slower pace than Kuala Lumpur because they are more of a rushing place. And right here
Yeah,
is just an island. Everybody's chill, very nice. They're all very nice. So,
very easy, slow going. Yeah,
and one thing that is good about Labuan is you're easily getting to the beach. You can drive to the beach in like maybe the longest an hour. Depends on your area.
okay,
You can just get there in 1 hour. You can
okay.
and I don't know. Is the wave in China big or small?
Now, it all depends on where you are, but you don't have the big surfing waves here.
Yeah.
You get down Hainan Island or some places where you do have the surfers and stuff, but it's not a big thing here.
Um. So actually, our housing area, in fact, all of the entire Labuan, when you just wake up, you get out of your house, you don't actually see a lot of food around your area. You just see houses around there. Maybe a building that you can buy some, I don't know, things. Actually, it's just a building there sometimes. Yeah.
So
No.
you don't have little restaurants, street restaurants all over the
Yeah.
place.
Not really.
No, you see, yeah, you see, that's all we do for breakfast. Every day, 365 days out of the year, we go out and we eat breakfast on the street, and we
Can't wait to
see
try it
people, and
actually.
it's a way of life here. It's a I can't remember the last time I ate at home for breakfast.
Can't wait to go to China for a change.
Yeah. Well, if you're ever in the Nanning area, drop by and we'll go out for breakfast. Dim sum, Chinese style. Oh, the best taro root sauce duck feet you've ever tasted. Num num.
Well, it's a little bit more different here. It's harder to get it. But you have some Chinese restaurants here too. So yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
it's not the same. It's not the same. I've eaten in
Actually,
Chinese restaurants in Malaysia, and it's different.
Actually depends. Like the way you cook
Maybe
it or
we hit
something.
the wrong ones because we didn't know where we are, where we were, type thing, eh?
But
But
sometimes because of the cultural mix, we are able to get some food that are mixed with other cultures, so they would taste slightly different and sometimes create
yeah,
a new type of food, which is good. And
yeah.
as a Malaysian, not just that we get to eat different taste of food, and we actually get used to food a lot, and because we speak three languages in this country, we are able to um, speak in other language with our tongues more smoothly than some other people in other countries.
So you speak English, Malaysian, and what?
And Chinese, I can speak Chinese.
You speak Chinese fluent?
Yeah, I'm Chinese.
Your did your mom and dad come from China or were they born in Malaysia?
It's actually that my great grandfather from my father's side came from China. So, yeah,
From
and my mother,
Guangdong province?
um, I'm not sure to be honest.
Don't know. Okay.
And my mother don't I don't really know. Yeah,
Don't know.
I don't
She
know.
does. She doesn't tell you.
No, it's not that she doesn't tell me. It's just that maybe it's just too many generations back.
She doesn't know.
I don't think she knows. Maybe she does.
Yeah, so it sounds like people from Canada. We know that we're part Irish and part Norwegian. Like my grandfather was Irish on my mother's side. My grandmother was Dakota Sioux on my mother's side, North American Indian. And then on my father's side, both grandpa and grandma were Norwegian. So I'm basically a Heinz 57. I'm a mutt.
Can you speak Chinese?
No, little bit. Yi din din. Yet di di. Chinese, Cantonese, or Mandarin. What do you want?
You can speak Cantonese?
Well, I don't know the difference between Cantonese and Mandarin. My wife speaks both languages, so I try to pick up the language, but I don't know whether it's Cantonese or Mandarin. I know that when just like a little bit, yet di di, yi den den. Like I don't know whether yet di di or yi den den is Cantonese or Mandarin, but I know it means just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm actually Hokkien,
Sma,
I'm actually Hokkien
Hokkien,
mixed with actually I'm not I'm Fujian, like
Fujian. Oh,
yeah
yeah, okay,
Fujian.
from Fujian. Okay.
然后 and my mom is um it's hard to remember because there are just so many of them and then my mind just go. But I mostly speak Chinese because I don't really practice the others. But I can understand some to a certain level.
Yeah, yeah. Well, being from Fujian, you probably there's a lot of Cantonese that's spoken there too.
Um,
It's
um,
fairly far south.
it's more like the conversation between my father and his aunties that speak um that I don't really
But
speak
you got
that.
Fujian language, and then you've got every small village has their own language here in China. So it's really hard. I know um, my wife comes from Bobai, and Yulin is about 30 minutes away by car. The Bobai people can't speak to the Yulin people in their own language, but everybody knows Mandarin because this is what's taught in school, and that's what's on the news and TV and whatever. So most of the people, except for the old people, a lot of the old people don't speak Mandarin either. They only speak their local language. So then they can't talk with other people and from outside their community. It's it is China. I think there's 700 different dialects around the country, which makes it difficult for. That's why the Chinese government says Mandarin. Everybody learns Mandarin in school now.
I I speak Chinese, but I don't have that China accent.
Yeah, I know. I can understand that.
Yeah.
The, the
So sometimes when I watch like maybe China's shows, listening to them talk is a little bit unnatural to me, but probably it's just what they sound like in China.
depends on where they come from too. Beijing, they are, and stuff. They got that, and then you get into the southern area of Nanning. Here, they got a drawl where they the words go longer than what they should and stuff. It's one of those things. Hey, Rain, I've got a 4:30 meeting here this afternoon, so we're gonna have to
Okay, then maybe we
thing
should
this
make a
out. So
thumbnail.
so so how do we end this thing? Because you
Thank you for this opportunity for this interview. I'm really happy. It's the first time I ever interview anybody, and I wish I can do this sometime again next time. Is that fine?
oh for sure, and I really appreciate you offering this to me because as I said before, I have never been interviewed before. I've shied away from interviews. I've been asked for interviews from the Wall Street Journal and New York Times and different outlets, and I've always said no to them. But um, you're the first one I ever said yes to. So, and
Wow,
and I'm sort of
thanks,
glad that I did
thanks.
because I think we had a pretty good time this afternoon. And
Yeah,
yeah, let's do this again sometime in the future. It's great. I
definitely.
had fun.
Yeah, so this will be the end of the video. Um,
Okay.
and bye. Wait,
Okay, so everybody out there, thanks for watching. Don't forget. Peace out.
peace out. Wait,
Peace
wait.
out.
Maybe look into the camera for a thumbnail.
Look into the camera for this thumbnail. Yeah, I don't look at the camera very much because the camera's on top of the computer, right? So,
1, 2, go. Yeah, that should do. Wow,
all right.
this was very fun. Thank you.
It was fun for me too. Appreciate it. Thanks for asking me, man. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I also appreciate it too. I cannot thank you enough.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, I got to roll, man. We'll all
Yeah.
right later. Thanks.
Peace out. Bye.